Welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. Let's try this all again. Sorry about the delay. I don't know. Alright, let's try this again. One more time. Third time's a charm, maybe. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. Thank you for joining me. My name is Joe, as you all know. Stream resumed is what it says, so hopefully you guys can see me now. But I wanted to get on here because I felt bad about not being able to get on here last night and talk to you guys a little bit about the Detroit Lions game. And since it's a Friday night and not a Thursday night, we can talk about whatever you all want to talk about. Some Buffalo Bills related news. There is some news today regarding this game in particular, so we can talk about that if you'd like. But yeah, Myth, thank you for joining me. Thank you for bearing with me through these technical difficulties you guys normally do, so I appreciate that. Currently saying there's 0 watching, so I don't know if Myth left. So let me know if you're still here, man. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you all about this game coming up, the Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions. Mark Davis, they already have Bills losing against Detroit. Yeah, well, of course they do. I mean, that's not hard to believe. I mean, the Bills aren't exactly playing well. But thanks for joining me on Bill-ievers Talk. Thanks, guys, for coming in here on this Friday. Enjoying your Friday video for you guys to watch, and so I wanted to talk more about the Bills going into today. We had some guys. We had LeSean McCoy was limited in practice today compared to Wednesday when he did not practice, so maybe that's a good sign leading into this game. Talking about Buffalo Bills transactions, we talk about those. We did sign Keith Ford, running back, so maybe we're getting ready to not have LeSean McCoy there this week. It'd be nice to have him there. I know he has not been as productive as we would like so far this season, and with the season winding down, there's really nothing you can do to come back from that. But we have him here next year too, guys. So hopefully he can get some rest during the offseason and be the more productive back that we're used to seeing from LeSean McCoy. But he was limited in practice today after 2 days of not participating. So that was good to see. Stephen Hauschka was limited in practice today. Not sure what that means as far as if he'll play or not in this game. Still get mad thinking about that cheap shot that he took against the New York Jets last week. I really think that should have been called a penalty, but it wasn't. What can you do about it at this point? You know what I mean? I mean, we really need to get over. I did see that his wife tweeted something about how we shouldn't wish injury on or harm on other players, even if they did hit her husband. I thought that was kind of funny. So we'll talk a little bit more about this game. Again, we can talk about whatever you guys want, Buffalo Bills related. Happy to be here on Friday night. We'll talk about Matthew Stafford a little bit. Talk about the news about LeGarrette Blount. Not sure if you guys heard about LeGarrette Blount recently and his issues, so that's kind of fun. We can talk about that a little bit. And just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, Buffalo Bills related or other Buffalo sports. Again, I just like getting on here, getting live, talking to you guys about Buffalo Bills. Anything you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about Robert Foster. And again, we'll talk about this game coming up on Sunday. So again, thank you for joining me on Bill-ievers Talk. My name is Joe. I appreciate you guys joining me again on this Friday night. Always enjoy coming on here. So thanks again for joining me here. I'm looking up the Detroit Lions injury report. I want to talk about Matthew Stafford a little bit. Matthew Stafford has actually had a bad back for the last 2 weeks. Matthew Stafford got hurt in the game against the Rams where I didn't know this, but Donald hit him 12 times, it said. Well, that's incredible to me. Maybe some of you, if you're a Lions fan, or maybe if you watch that Lions-Rams game, you know that. But Donald hit him 12 times. I mean, that's just incredible that one player could do that, have that big of an impact. And that's why some people say he should be in the MVP race. And maybe that's something you really want to talk about, too. We can talk about the MVP race, who I think is currently going to win the MVP. It's not Patrick Mahomes, that's for sure. But so do I really care if we win or lose because we have a bad record? I do. I really do, Myth. I always believe in winning. Winning breeds winning. If you go into a season losing, we saw what happened to the Cleveland Browns. 2 seasons ago they went 1-15. They had the first overall draft pick. How'd that help them? How'd that help them this past 2 years or last year? Then they went 0-16. Is that better? I mean, they had 2 back-to-back first-round picks. And yeah, you can argue they're better this year with Baker Mayfield. They hit on a good quarterback, but you can also say they also got Jarvis Landry in free agency. They hit on some guys that we knew were going to be good. So is it worth going 1-31 or 1-31 to finally get good? I don't think so. I want to win now. I mean, we have our quarterback of the future, right? It's not like we don't need to move up in the draft. I know this season they're saying that the quarterbacks are not as good as they were last year, but we all know that teams are going to draft up quarterback needy teams like the Jaguars, quarterback needy teams like the Bengals maybe, I don't know, are going to trade up. Are going to trade up. And I don't care if we move back with those teams to get excess draft picks. We have our young quarterback. 40% of our team is already in the first 2 years of their careers. So what more do we want? We want younger guys. We want to keep getting younger. I mean, I will admit, we have to get younger at tight end, right? Charles Clay, I think Charles Clay has to go. But we also know that tight ends are not highly sought after in the NFL draft. That's something that we can wait till the second round to pick up, the third round maybe to pick up. And we do have, at this time, the Buffalo Bills have 11 draft picks. We can definitely use those 11 draft picks and possibly pick up a young tight end. Speaking of tight ends, Jason Kroom is back to fully participating in practice as well. So hopefully we will see him on the field on Sunday. I would really like to see Logan Thomas and Kroom get the majority of the snaps actually in these remaining 3 games, just because, again, I just don't want to see Charles Clay part of this Bills team any longer. I mean, I think he's someone that needs to go. We saw them clean house with Kelvin Benjamin. Now I think it's time to get Charles Clay out there as well. If you're not producing for this team, we need to get someone younger in there who can do it. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. And we saw Robert Foster again in his 2 starts. Robert Foster has 200-yard games, and he is only one of three wide receiving rookies this year to have 2 or more games of over 100 yards. So, and that's in his only 2 starts. Angry Buffalo sports fans, welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. Always good to see you. Hey, Bills Mafia. Love to get you guys on here. I'd get all Bills Mafia on here. Let them know we're here. My cousin is a Patriots fan. Sorry to hear that. But we said we had the chance to get Gronk. I don't want Gronk, and to be honest, I think Gronk's getting close to retirement anyway. I want young talent. If we're gonna bring in new talent, I want it to be young talent. I don't want a Jimmy Graham. I don't want a Garoppolo or Gronkowski. Why I keep saying Garoppolo? Although I don't want him either because he's mad at glass. We have our quarterback, but I don't want those guys. The only outstanding tight end in the league that I would want today would be a Travis Kelce, but he's not. He's on a contract with the Chiefs for quite some time yet, and deservedly so. He's a great tight end, and I think he's probably the best tight end in the league right now. But he's also a younger tight end too. So Gronk is injury prone. Yeah, Gronk is absolutely injury prone. But I think Gronk really has to decide if he wants to retire at the end of this year or not. I mean, we saw how he looked in the Miracle in Miami play. I mean, he kind of looked foolish trying to run after Drake and cut down the angle on Drake, and then he fell over his own feet, it seemed like, towards the end zone. So he really has to consider. If he wants to continue in this league or not. I mean, he has multiple offers out there. I know WWE would love to have him, and fake wrestling would stop injuries from happening as much, or at least they're supposed to. I know people still get hurt there too, but you talk about a whole different career path. You see Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey; they're making it work out for him all right. So maybe Gronkowski will go there, and we saw that he was a part of their WrestleMania last year or 2 years ago. So maybe that's a career option for him. In the draft, yeah, we did have a chance to get Gronkowski in the draft. We passed up on him. It was kind of sad, but the Buffalo Bills did have a chance to get him in the draft. You're absolutely right, and we didn't. So I wanted to go over the Detroit Lions injury report. So here are the Detroit Lions injuries. They have a few more than the Buffalo Bills, although the Bills have more players on injury reserve. Obviously, Matt Milano with the broken leg, he's on injury reserve. So we can talk about what that means for that weak side linebacker position. We can talk about that a little bit. And then we can go over some more injuries as, again, Taron Johnson. He's also now on the IR. He's been on the IR for 2 weeks now. I really liked his production going into the rest of the season. I was really hoping to see him do some more things, get some more reps out there. But, you can't do anything about it. He's on IR, so what can you do? So, but I really enjoyed seeing him play. I thought he was getting better and better with each passing week. So we'll go over these Detroit Lions injury report here. We've got, like I said, Matthew Stafford's been dealing with a back injury. He's been limited in practice. He actually hasn't had a full practice since that game against the Rams. So it'll be interesting to see that. He did not play that well against the Cardinals last week either, and that's not a good sign if you're a Detroit Lions fan. The Cardinals don't exactly have an intimidating defense, so you want to see more from your star quarterback at this point, and you have to wonder, maybe Detroit Lions are starting to be one of those teams looking for a quarterback. I really like Matthew Stafford, I do, but you see him rack up injuries. You see this Detroit Lions team not get anywhere. Maybe you trade Matthew Stafford, see what you can get for him, and start building for the future. I'm not sure. But anyhow, going through the Detroit Lions injury report, you got Bruce Ellington, wide receiver. He was a non-participant in practice. His game stats, he's listed as out for this game, so they'll be out without Bruce Ellington. Deshaun Hand is also listed as out, defensive end. Kieran Johnson, running back, he's listed as out. Rick Wanger, tackle, he's listed as out. Charles Washington, defensive back, is listed as out. Then you go on to the questionables. You got Trevor Bates, linebacker, ankle injury. He's been limited all week long. He's questionable. Nick Bellore, fullback. He's been limited. He's questionable. Marcus Cooper, defensive back. He's been limited. He's questionable. Taylor Decker, tackle. He's been limited. He's questionable. Devon Kennard, linebacker. He's been limited. He's questionable. And then Matthew Stafford has been limited in practice, and he's listed as questionable, although it comes out today that he says he is going to play in this game. But wow, that's been a lot. We argue every Sunday. He says my team is trash. Well, when you're a fan of the Patriots and you've won the division, I think it's 19 of the last 20 years. You've been in 6 straight AFC Championship games. 6 straight AFC Championship games. That's insane. I kind of have the right to say every other team is trash. And the Buffalo Bills have been in those 20 years in the playoffs one time. And that was just last season, one time. So to your cousin's point, if you're looking at the statistics, he has a point. Now, we all know that we're not bandwagon fans here, and we know that in the near future, the roles might be reversed. Okay, this league is a what have you done for me lately league. So although the Patriots are great right now, and they've been great for the past 20 years, what's going to happen when number 12 retires? What's going to happen when Bill Belichick leaves or retires? What happens to the Patriots then? Is Josh McDaniel going to take over? I mean, is that what's going to happen? Because we all know he doesn't want the Indianapolis Colts job. We all know that he said he's going to be picky this year when teams ask for him to be head coach. To be honest, I would not ask him to be my head coach. Not a chance. After what he just did to the Indianapolis Colts last season, there's no way I'd want to take a chance that he's going to do that to me this season. No way. I'm sorry. I know he's a great offensive mind. I get that. But I just would not take that chance. That he really left the Colts in the bind, and maybe it's going to work out for the Colts in the long run. With Frank Reich. We all love Frank Reich. I think he's going to do a great job there in Indianapolis. Indianapolis did beat us already this season. But, Josh McDaniels is a great offensive coach too. And, man, he agreed in principle to be their head coach after the Super Bowl. And then the Super Bowl ended. And then the next day he says, never mind. I'm going to stay in Indianapolis, or in New England. I mean, it makes you wonder, what did New England promise him on the back end of that? Is he soon going to be the heir apparent to Bill Belichick? Are we going to see that changing of the guard? Is that what's going to happen? Be interesting to see. You think Rob will retire with Brady? Possibly. You have to remember that Brady wants to stick around for another 3-4 years. I don't know if Gronkowski has another 3-4 years in him. I really don't. I think Gronk. If the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl this year, I think Gronk's out. Done. I mean, what more does he have to prove? He's proven he's one of the best in the league to ever do it. I don't think he has any more to prove. He won't get close due to his injuries and due to the lack of longevity in his career. He will not have some of those records as far as season records, but he's already broken some of those. Or as far as career records, but he's already broken some of those season records. So it's good to see that for him. Congratulations to him for that. And yeah, he's one of the best tight ends to ever do it in the game, at least for a short period of time. And I always think back to when he was with Aaron Hernandez and they had the 2 tight end sets. I just wonder how much better he would have been if Aaron Hernandez didn't go all psychopath and decide to murder some people. So it's always interesting to go back and look at those kind of things. I do that from time to time, but I do that with the Bills a lot too. Just to think about what would have happened. What would have happened if the Bills did draft Gronkowski back when he was drafted? How would that have changed the landscape of the NFL? We'll never know. Obviously, we'll never know. But I think I think the NFL.com used to have like the NFL is what they would call it, and they would like do a whole little short video on what would have happened if this would happen instead of that. Like if San Fran would have drafted Aaron Rodgers instead of Alex Smith. Stuff like that it always fascinates me. If the Bills would have drafted Ben Roethlisberger, things like that always fascinate me. I always get a kick out of those. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think Gronk might be done. I mean, he's shown that he can continue to get hurt, especially with back injuries. And last year, if you remember, he was questioning it. He was hawing a lot as well. So that's how I feel about the Gronkowski situation. I wanted to look at our depth chart, the Buffalo Bills depth chart. Again, Mike Milano is injured. He's out for the season, broke his leg. Really, really unfortunate. He's been having a great year. I've heard some people say he deserves Pro Bowl consideration, and they're not wrong. If you look at his statistics, he's had a great year in the league. So it's sad that he will miss the rest of the weeks. And I mean, if he gets Pro Bowl consideration or not, it doesn't really matter because he won't be able to play. So that's kind of sad, but we hope that he gets healthy soon and he's ready to go for next season. We really do. But now we look at the weak side linebacker position. Currently on our depth chart, our weak side linebacker is now Corey Thompson. So that is who our current weak side linebacker is. No one's behind him, though. There's nobody behind him. Maybe we'll put Lorenzo Alexander. We'll switch him off and on. But yeah, he's Corey Thompson's a rookie from Louisiana State University. So that's all we know about him. There's nothing else to say about that. Obviously, he came out of LSU. He was in the 2018 draft. We'll see what happens. It's always good to get these young guys in, especially when your season's over. Well, it really stunk if Milano got hurt, and we still had a chance in this season. That would have really stung a little bit more, I should say. But knowing that we're out this year already at 4-9 means that it doesn't hurt as much. You look at the Lions 5-8. They actually still have an outside chance to make the playoffs. So it'll be nice to win this game just to be the team that took them out. Although again, it's a really slim chance that they're gonna make the playoffs at 8-8, but they still could. So now that our playoff hopes are dashed, let's try to dash as many hopes as we can. Maybe we'll beat Detroit, get them out of the playoffs. We'll beat the Colts, get them out of that, or beat the Patriots. Get them out of that 2 seed, and then we'll beat the Dolphins and dash their playoff hopes as well. That'd be bang, bang, bang. We can definitely do that. And we're getting ready for the following week. We're finally going to see Josh Allen versus the Patriots. I'm looking forward to that matchup as well. We all know Bill Belichick's record with rookie quarterbacks in New England. We know what it's like, but it's going to be fun to see how he adjusts, because we know when we go against the Patriots, we're going up against the best, right? So it's going to be interesting to see, and they'll have a lot to play for. They'll still have a lot to play for. They still have that number 2 seed, possibly that number 1 seed still to play for. We all know how much better statistically teams are when they have that first round bye. So do I think Zay Jones could? Do I think Zay Jones could have been a first round pick? We got him, 47th overall, I think it was. I don't know. If he was a first-round pick, I'd be more willing to be upset with him for the lack of production that he's had so far this season, and for his career, to be honest with you, the first 2 years. The fact that he was a second-round pick, even though we did trade up to get him, gives me a little more pump the brakes attitude when it comes to Zay Jones. And I do see him coming into his own. The big question around Zay Jones, especially around draft time and showing up here, is was he NFL ready? I just don't know if a team's willing to take a chance on wide receiver that they're not sure about in the first round. So I think where we got him, I think he was a steal. You talk about a guy who had over 125 catches for I don't want to say South Florida, but I know that's not right, for the college team he played for. I'll look it up real quick. You talk about a guy who knows how to catch the ball, and that's one thing I love about him when we drafted him. You don't need to learn how to catch the ball. Either you know how to catch the ball. Eastern Carolina is the college he played for. Either you know how to catch the ball, or you don't. He's not a number 1 wide receiver. That's the myth. He's just not. I think at best he's a number 2 wide receiver, possibly a number 3. I've always said that about Zay Jones. Last year we acquired Anquan Bolden. Thought he would actually be a number 2. We thought we'd have Sammy Watkins, Anquan Bolden, and then Zay Jones in the slot. I think, guys, that would have been a great 3-man wide receiving core. I really do. I think if you would have given them time to learn than especially Zay Jones, especially even on Tyrod Taylor. I think that would have been a really good wide receiving core. I think we could have done a lot more damage last year than just wild card playoff spot and then out with only 3 points in the playoff game. I think we could have done a little bit better than that if we would have kept those 3. But trade Sammy Watkins away, get Jordan Matthews in a pick. Anquan Bolden sees the writing on the wall, or at least he thinks he sees the writing on the wall, and then he gets out of there before this team tanks, as everyone thought they were going to do. And then what does he do? He sits and watches us as we make the playoffs, and he sits at home not collecting a paycheck. Kind of like the same thing happened this year with Vernon Davis. 2 weeks into the season, Vernon Davis like, I'm out of here. I quit because this is going to be hard. And what happens? Oh, we only have the #1 defense by yards in the NFL. That's it. That's all we have. That's it. Vernon Davis coming part of something special. But he chose to sit at home. Why? Because we had three bad halves. 3 bad halves, and that's it. You just really give up. I could talk about that, and maybe I will come the offseason and talk more about that in the Buffalo Bills season recap. But, man, there's so much more you could say about that whole situation. But my thing with Zay Jones is, remember this offseason, guys? I don't know if anyone remembers it. We did a video. Steve and I did a video on it. This past offseason, Zay Jones got in legal trouble. He was at a suite or something like that in LA and was running around naked yelling that he's going to fight for Jesus, and got into a fight with his brother and kicked in a window, and there was blood all over. And I don't know if you guys watched that or not, but you should watch my eyes at some Toledo games to see Cody Thompson and see if the Bills should get him in the draft to come. I'm looking at the draft to come. I'm starting to look at that myth. There's a lot of players that I'm already looking at to see what we can do. I'm looking to see if it's in the Bills' best interest to trade down, and that obviously depends on what pick we get and what other teams need that are behind us in the draft. I'm a huge proponent of trading down. I loved trading down 2 years ago and picking up the second first-round draft pick last year so we could use it to get Josh Allen. I mean, these dominoes fall into effect, and it's so cool to see from a fan's perspective. So, yeah, I'm going to look into the draft. I'm looking into some guys. Obviously, I'm not looking at the top-tier guys. You got Joey Bosa is going to be the #1 overall pick probably. You got the quarterbacks. We don't need them. So I'm looking at some wide receivers right now, looking at some offensive linemen, looking at some defensive linemen to see exactly what we need and how they fill those voids. I did see a mock draft today has picking an offensive lineman from Alabama, so I'll watch some Alabama film. I'll watch the Alabama in the college football playoff just to watch him to see how he does in those games, because when you talk about those games, you're finally talking about games against teams equivalent to the team you're playing, so you're just as good as possibly the defensive tackle or defensive end that you're playing against, and that will give us indicative of how well you'll do against NFL players. Have any thoughts on the promoting up of Keith Ford? I think he's just a filler until we figure out what's going on with LaShawn McCoy. I've never, when Keith Ford was at Detroit, and that could be a part of it too. We're playing Detroit, and that's where Keith Ford used to play. And so I look forward to seeing him if he plays. Again, guys, we know the season's done, so I do want to see what we have on our depth chart, what kind of roster we will have coming into next season. So even though I do want to win, I want to win every single week, it's also smart to not always play McCoy. We know what we have in McCoy. It's not always smart to play, I'll say, Charles Clay, if Charles Clay was living up to his potential, but he's not. So, with players like that, veteran players who know what you get out of them, it's not always smart to play them. So why don't you play the guys who are a little bit younger, who we're not sure what we have in them, and see what they could add to the team potentially going into next season. Cody Thompson, and that's the position I'm looking at most actually in the draft is wide receiver, possibly offensive lineman, of course, as well. Those are the two positions that I think we need the most in. Again, I said tight end as well, and I do believe we need a tight end, but that's someone we can pick up second, third, maybe even fourth round, who is a good, solid tight end. So, but yeah, I do look forward to seeing what Keith Ford can add to the team on Sunday. Like I said, he was added to the roster. I think it was 2 days ago on the 12th. See what he does there. We also signed safety Dean Barlow from the practice squad, signed Kyle Carter, tight end, wide receiver Tanner McAvoy, and cornerback Josh Thornton to the practice squad. That all happened on the 12th. So I think we're bringing in young talent, putting them on the practice squad, seeing if it's worth seeing them in game action with these 3 games left. When you talk about Kyle Carter, that's that tight end position I was just talking about. Tanner McAvoy, you talk about that wide receiver position. And then Josh Thornton, cornerback. You're seeing some young guys coming in here. And D. Marlowe, he's played with us before so far this season. He's worth bringing back in. And right now he's on the active roster, so we'll see him again on Sunday at safety for us. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. On the 11th, we placed Teron Johnson and Matt Milano on IR. On the 8th, we signed wide receiver Damari Scott. So that means this will be the first game we see Damari Scott. He was on the inactive list last Sunday just because he was new to the team. So we will get to see him this Sunday against Detroit as well. It is tough seeing that LeSean McCoy has his lowest rushing in his career. Yeah, I mean, we had high expectations for LeSean McCoy coming into the season. Obviously, we knew that our offense would only go as far as LeSean McCoy would take us. That hasn't been necessarily the case in all the games. We talk about that Minnesota game. I mean, Josh Allen has proven that maybe this offense now can run through the quarterback, that's the way it's always supposed to be in today's NFL. The offense needs to run through the quarterback. It's good to have a good running back there, but it needs to run through the quarterback. And now I think we have a quarterback that finally can do that. Give him time, and he'll be able to do that. So I look forward to seeing more from Josh Allen. Again, I want to see Josh Allen in the pocket these last 3 games. I don't want to see him running around. We know he has the athleticism to run around. However, I also know our offensive line is trash. So if you need to run around, I'd rather run around and get hit. But I also want to see you run out of the pocket and throw it out of bounds, too. I don't want to see you throwing it across the field and trying to make something happen. This is not Wyoming. You are not playing trash college football teams that you can get away with that. You're playing in the NFL now. You cannot get away with throwing balls across your body into the middle of the field. You can't get away with that here. So stop doing it. We saw a couple of times against the Jets, he actually did get away with it where there was no one nearby, and so it just fell to the turf. We can't do that. LF Shady, is Ford expected to be active? Yeah, I think so. I think he is expected to be active. I mean, they just moved him to the active roster. Welcome, #sports. Thanks for joining me. 2 days ago they signed both Ford and Marlowe from the practice squad. So I mean, why would you do that? I think that's indicative of the fact that he is going to be on the active roster come this Sunday. But I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's December 14th, so it's time for me to be wrong the one time this year. So maybe I'm wrong again, but we'll see. But yeah, I just don't know why you would do that if you're not planning on playing him on Sunday. So, and he has been in practice the past 2 days at least. It's listed him as in practice, a full participant in practice. So I think that's a good sign, good indicator that he's going to play. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe LeSean McCoy will get healthy before Sunday, and LeSean McCoy will be put in the active roster, and then that leaves one last roster spot, and Keith Ford won't be on there. But we'll see. We'll see. But thank you for joining me, guys. Again, my name is Joe. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Again, I just wanted to get on here on Friday. I normally get on here on Thursdays. During halftime on Thursday Night Football, was unable to yesterday. I did post a video pre-gaming the Lions game, but I did still want to get on here and get live, talk to some of you guys. Myth, you're always a huge part in these live streams, and I appreciate that. And, I've seen Buffalo highlights in here before. #sports, always a good time. I love watching your videos. Guys, if you haven't checked out #sports videos, you're missing out. They're a lot of fun. Those two guys, they make me laugh. Chart, we talked about that. We talked about the Lions, guys. I did talk about my 3 keys to victory. Like up the stream. Hey, Myth, yeah, absolutely. If you haven't already liked this stream, hit that like button. Share this, guys, because, again, I'm normally not on here on Fridays, so maybe people don't realize I'm here. Hey, #sports, thank you guys. I mean, I appreciate doing this. I am sure you guys appreciate doing this, but I know I like leaving little comments for you guys so we can have a good laugh back and forth. But, you definitely keep me entertained. So, and you do a good job. Actually, it was fine when I was at the Jacksonville game. We were passing, I think it was the Tim Hortons you guys do your post game for, but since I live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, we knew we wouldn't go home to like 2-3 in the morning. So I was like, should I stop? Oh, I really wanted to stop to see if you guys were in there and just mess around with you guys for a little bit, but we didn't go home until 3 in the morning anyway. So I was like, maybe I should have went to Tim Hortons, picked up some coffee for the road or something. But no, we had a good time at Jacksonville or against Jacksonville. That was a fun game to watch. Hopefully Sunday's just as much fun, but we'll be live here, giving you the live play-by-play reaction here on Bill-ievers Talk. So if you haven't already checked out these live streams, guys, we have a good time. Love chatting it up on the chat, and then I give you live play-by-play and reaction during the game, so that way you guys don't miss anything. I do my best to do it. At least I watched TD Dolphins. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He does live play-by-play for the Dolphins games. I watched him during the Miracle Miami play this past Sunday, and that was a fun little reaction. I wish I could have something like that here. I might lose my voice just like he did. So, Krabby Cal, thank you for joining me. Welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. Go Bills, go Allen. Yeah, again, guys, I would love to see more from Josh Allen than just run around in this game, and the upcoming 3 games throughout the season. Let's see what we get from Robert Foster. Again, 2 starts. Robert Foster has over 100 yards in both those starts. Obviously, he's going to start this game as well. Let's see him continue to produce like that, and maybe we have our new number 1. I did a video about that, about possibly having our number 1 receiver in Buffalo. Do you guys think so? I think in order for him to even consider being number 1, we do need to get some veteran leadership in there. I mean, again, right now we do not have the veteran leadership that we need at the wide receiver position, or for many other positions, like you're talking about offensive line, things like that. I think we need some more leadership in those aspects. But and I also think coming this offseason, maybe it's worth re-signing Lorenzo Alexander. He's had a great year, and he's been a great asset when it comes to Matt Milano, when it comes to Tremaine Edmonds coming into their own as young players in the NFL. I think he sometimes gets overlooked for the season that he's been having as well. I would love to see Kyle Williams come back. If you guys don't know, Kyle Williams is my favorite Bill, at least currently, and he's probably my top 5 all time. I love Kyle Williams. Just the love that he has for the city of Buffalo, for this team, is just top notch. So I really, really do enjoy that as well. Do I know what happened to Eddie Lacy? I don't know what happened to Eddie Lacy. I know that there's some videos on it, and so I think I've seen some things. I don't know what happened to Eddie Lacy. I know when McCoy was getting into his legal trouble, I remember I looked at the free agency list of running backs to see who we could pick up, and I saw his name on there. But no, I don't know what happened to Eddie Lacy. I'm going to look it up if you don't tell me that. So did something happen to him, or are you just asking? But do you guys see what happened to LeGarrette Blount is the question. So LeGarrette Blount, I'm looking up Eddie Lacy now. LeGarrette Blount apparently got outed by his side chick, I guess, that on Instagram, that he was seeing someone else, even though he was seeing his girlfriend. So he might be in a little bit of trouble. I was reading up on that a little bit. I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, apparently it was an Instagram post, and who knows if it's real or not anymore. I have no idea with this internet stuff. What's real, what's not, what isn't. I don't know. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. Don't. Whoever tells you can believe whatever you hear on the internet, don't believe them. Don't believe them. You can't. But I'm looking up Eddie Lacy, and I'm not seeing any news on Eddie Lacy as far as his career. Currently a free agent. I know that, but that's all I know about Eddie Lacy at the time. So, but yeah, I thought that was funny to read up on LeGarrette Blount a little bit. Posted a good video on Eddie Lacy. Yeah, I thought I saw a video on Eddie Lacy. I'll have to check that out about what happened to him. I remember in the beginning of the season, I wasn't happy with Robert Foster. Yeah, no, I actually agree with you, Angry Buffalo Sports fan. I remember Robert Foster made the roster. I was very upset about that. I thought there were a couple players that played a little bit better than he did in the preseason, and so I was a little surprised that he made the team. But now it's kind of making sense, right? I thought Prohl had a shot to make the team, and he didn't, and Foster did. I was a little upset about that. You talk about some other guys. Who else did we have? We had a veteran receiver that I thought would make the team. We had the guy from LSU who I thought would make the team. Possibly, there were a couple wide receivers out there that I thought might make the team over him, but he made the team, and yeah, he didn't really come to his own until that Jacksonville game, right? The Jacksonville game, he gets over 100 yards, and then in this Miami game, he gets over 100 yards. So let's see what happens moving forward with Robert Foster. Zay Jones, big drops this week. Let's see if he can clean those up. Hate seeing drops out there. Hate seeing these turnovers. Hate seeing these penalties. It's just been a bad season all around, I think, if you're a Bills fan, as far as beating yourself in a lot of these games. So we'll see if we improve on that. Hopefully we do. Again, in my previous video, went over the 3 keys to victory for this game this Sunday against the Detroit Lions. Come into this game 5-8, still have those slim playoff hopes on their side in the NFC. But we will have that game for you here on Bill-ievers Talk. Live play-by-play, live reaction. So if you haven't checked it out, come on by. If you're a Lions fan, if you're a Bills fan, or if you're just a fan of football and want to stop on by because your team doesn't play at 1 o'clock, hey, come on by. We'll happily talk about some Buffalo Bills football. We'll talk about some more Bills news when it comes to getting ready for the offseason, what we have to look forward to coming this offseason, some things that some possible draft news. Who are we looking at? As Myth brought up earlier, there are some players that he's already looking at, and I'm beginning to get ready for some draft coverage because the season's just around the corner, guys. Like I said, we're at week 15. I mean, come on now. I mean, it just feels like yesterday I started this. It just feels like yesterday the season started. And it just feels like yesterday that we lost to Baltimore 47-3. So happy that game is over, that's for sure. But we'll have more games like that down the road, I'm sure. But we'll have more games like that Vikings game too. That was just a lot of fun, and that Jaguars game that was a lot of fun as well. So we'll have a lot more winning seasons out of us as well. I look forward to being more consistently seen in the playoffs. That'd be fun. Hey, Momo, welcome to Bill-ievers Talk, man. Just enjoying some Friday night football talk. I got on here, had a little extra time again. Felt bad for not getting on here live yesterday to break down the Detroit Lions Buffalo Bills game. I did post a video about that. I gave you my 3 keys to victory in there. And I do look forward to doing that again this Sunday. This Sunday, the Buffalo Bills play the Detroit Lions. And again, we will be here 12:30 Eastern time, right before kickoff. Thank you, Momo. I'll do my best, man. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, dude. Always enjoy the support. And I always enjoy people coming into the chat and chatting with us. So, again, thank you for joining me on Bill-ievers Talk. My name is Joe. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It's like down here somewhere. I don't know. Hit that like button. It's like a little thumbs up. It doesn't hurt. I've hit the like button for other videos. It does not hurt you one bit. I've done it. I felt good afterwards. Unless the video was bad, and then I didn't feel good about liking something that wasn't good. But hit that like button, hit the share button, and let people know we go live every single Sunday for live play-by-play reaction of the Buffalo Bills games. Come back, hit that notification bell because we do go live spontaneously. I'll try to be live on here next Saturday for the Buffalo Bulls Dollar General Bowl game against Troy, and then I do plan on being on here again next Sunday live for the Buffalo Bills game next Sunday against the New England Patriots, so that'll be a lot of fun. So if you haven't already, come on here. Every time I see Mahomes, I get sick to my stomach. I can understand as a Bills fan why you would, but then just watch Tre'Davious White a little bit and remind yourself that's why we didn't get Patrick Mahomes. And I'm okay with that. Instead of Patrick Mahomes, we got Tre'Davious White, Josh Allen, and Jermaine Evans. And that's what happened, right? If you look at it that way, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad at all. Patrick Mahomes having a great season. Some people would say an MVP season. I'm not one of them. But yeah, hit that like button. Thanks a lot, Myth. And I'll see you guys Sunday. I look forward to Sunday. If you know any Lions fans or Bills fans that don't know about Bill-ievers Talk, let them know we're here, and we will give them live play-by-play reaction this Sunday. But again, thank you for joining me on this Friday night. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys, so that's why I got on here. Sorry I couldn't be live yesterday. I did post a video about the breaking down the game with the Lions. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. But would Pat Mahomes look the same Buffalo? No, he wouldn't. He absolutely would not. Just same thing you could say about Robert Woods. Robert Woods wouldn't look the same in Buffalo. You could say the same thing about Sammy Watkins. He didn't look the same in Buffalo. Say the same thing about Goodwin. All these players did not look the same in Buffalo as they do now, and there's a reason for that. But that's okay. That's okay. We got our quarterback now. We're not worried about Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about Josh Allen. Josh Allen's our guy. Let's support our guy. Believe in Josh Allen, because he's going to lead us back to the promised land. So thank you for joining me on Bill-ievers Talk again. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. But till then, go Bills.